I mean, you're all. I'm sure you were all pretty unique in your high school environments, and you stood out among your peers. How often do you get to meet other innovators, other people like you?
Yeah,
Eric?
actually, it's kind of funny. The first time I ever met with sort of my peer group was at the CWSF. So it's kind of that's a really great place to get kids to meet kids like that are doing research like me. It was like I can't remember any other time than the CWSF where I've met my peer group. Yeah, it's a really good place.
I mean, I feel the same thing. There's a lot of really great programs out there. And when you're going to things like the Canada-wide Science Fair and other programs like Sanofi Adventus and things like that, you're getting to meet the select few from across Canada that really are passionate about what they're doing, because obviously it is a very small group, because not many high school students are willing to dedicate their time to doing research instead of, I don't know, other extracurriculars. So, but it's always really nice when you do get the experience to meet other kids who are really driven and passionate about innovation as well.
Having participated in 3 national and 2 international competitions, I've had a lot of opportunities to meet other students with similar passions, and it was meeting them and making a lot of friends that has motivated me to continue participating in these science fairs throughout high school when it was no longer mandatory for me. I would also like to mention that another opportunity that I had to meet other students that are interested in science and innovation is during the conferences that I attended as part of the Science Expo organization. I am part of this organization. It is a youth nonprofit organization, and its goal is to promote science, technology, engineering, and mathematics opportunities to youth. And along with other students my age, I am part of this organization who organizes conferences and other kinds of events for youth. And at this point in time, we're also um, trying to promote schools to encourage their students to participate in the science fairs, and we're in the process of developing some resources that can be distributed to the teachers and to community members to help students get involved.
Okay, we have a question here. Just wait for the microphone, please, just so the people on the webcast can hear you.
Oh, hi. I'm fascinated because of how bright you guys are, but that's part one. Question for you. Are you, all three of you, interested in, research and development, all those things? What about commercialization? Have you any plans in the future for commercializing your ideas and concepts, and how would you go about that?
Yeah, so I've kind of always been a fan of academia. I like commercialization, but I mean, you have to have commercialization. You have an industry, private sector, but I think I'm going to stay in academia. There's not as much business pressure. You have to apply for grants and that sort of thing, but there's not as much pressure. I find, and another thing is, if you're going to stay in academia, so I'm going to go on and I'm going to do an MD, PhD. If you stay with just a PhD, I find that you're pressured by the private sector when you're applying for grants. You're sort of at their mercy. If you do an MD, PhD, or something like that, you can apply for grants, and they know that if they don't give you the grant or they don't give you the money, you can switch. If you're an MD, you can switch and do like general practitioner. You can become whatever you want and make money in the private sector. So you don't feel as much pressure from the companies. I just don't like that pressure.
Okay, go ahead, Kelcie.
I really would like to continue with my research, and it's something I'd like to commercialize, well, not so much commercialize, but really get out there and have it be applied. Obviously, at this point, it's pretty specific to the oil sands industry, but I'd like to further it in the future. But I actually find it's kind of a struggle, because the research, once you start university, it almost kind of gets put on hold. So hopefully, I will continue. Probably once I'm done my first year, continue in the summers and things like that. But it's almost something that is very time sensitive. I guess if you're looking at it at a business aspect, some of the other innovations, they're not as time sensitive, but something like the research I'm doing, sure, the idea I have now, it's good now and it works now, but the research is ongoing from everybody else. Their ideas are going to get pushed forward and they're going to be developed before I have time to even complete my research. So,
Okay, Adelina?
My passion for neuroscience research, it was initiated by my experiences in a special education classroom while volunteering with autistic children. And noticing how they had difficulty interacting with their environment, it motivated me to try to find some ways to help them. And so throughout these past 5 years that I've been involved in science fairs, the insights of my research have led to the development of an innovative educational system that is composed of several hardware and software products that were provided to me by different companies that I contacted here in North America. And this system, it has the potential to improve receptive and expressive language abilities in not only typically developing individuals, but also those that are recuperating from stroke and brain injury or with disabilities like autism and dyslexia. And so referring to your question for their potential for commercialization, there is potentially, of course, I'm still in the process of working on this system every single year. I've worked with the companies to develop more and more plugins that can be, and applications that can be integrated in it. And I'm working right now with some elementary schools in my region to implement the system into their classrooms, to test it out, to see how it works, to see how I can improve it, and then maybe in the future there will be a potential for commercialization.
All right. Well, we'll have to stop there, but great to hear from all three of you. How about a hand for our 3 Young Canadian Award winners? Thank you to all 3 of you. We are going to take a quick break. We're going to start again at 10:30. As you all know, innovation is not just about technology and industry. It's also about social innovation, and we're going to talk about that in our next panel. And so we'll start again at 10:30 in less than 15 minutes from now. So enjoy the break, get to know each other, and then come back in for 10:30.